Hi, I'm Brad Smith, and I'd like to welcome you to the BeerSmith 2.2 overview video, intended for those already using BeerSmith but needing a quick tour of the new features in BeerSmith 2.2. The first thing you'll notice when you open 2.2 is a cleaner interface. I've hidden the tabbed ribbon here at the top, but if you like, you can go to the View menu and show it again. It depends on what your preferences are. Most people prefer it hidden. Also, I've simplified the shortcut bar on the left. It now shows only views, and it allows you to make a list of favorites. You can right-click on any item to either add or delete it from your favorites list. This makes it very easy to access the things that you use the most, the tools that you use the most. The other obvious change is the new recipe formats, which now support HTML5 and CSS across all platforms. This gives you better-looking recipe and brew step reports, as well as more options for those who want to create their own custom reports. Ever since I released BeerSmith 2, people have been asking for me to bring back the advanced search feature. The Search All view does this. Here you can enter multiple terms separated by commas, and you can find things. For example, up here I've entered Fuggles and Pale Ale, and it's showing me recipes that contain both the word Fuggles and Pale Ale. If I want to see just a single item, I can take out the second item, and it'll show me, for example, all the recipes containing Fuggles hops. And it shows me the recipe name and where it's located, and if I double click on it, I can go in and edit that particular recipe, or look at it, or change it. So it's very flexible, and now you can find all of your local recipes very easy, and you can search them just about any way you want. I've also integrated the cloud search feature, so you can access thousands of recipes that are available online. So for example, let's say I'm looking for a stout recipe. I can just enter the term stout. I can click the Start Search button, and it'll actually go online and search the 10,000 plus recipes that are on BeerSmithRecipes.com and find them. I can even narrow my search. Let's say I want an all grain, and I want the top rated recipes that other people have rated. I can do a search again. And you can see we've got quite a few options here. I can open any of those recipes. It'll actually download it directly from online. And I can take a look at that recipe. And if I like that recipe, all I do is click on the Copy Local button here. And it'll copy it right to my recipes. So now that Prairie Oatmeal Stout has been copied to my recipe folder. And from there, if I like, I can open it now for editing. I can do anything I want with it from here. Probably what I want to do is scale it and have it match my personal equipment profile. And once I've done that, I've now got a recipe that's ready to brew. So I could go print a brew sheet for that and take it out in the garage and brew it right now. So very flexible. You can access, like I said, thousands of recipes that are rated on BeerSmithRecipes.com. You can do it right from the program, and you can use those recipes right here from the program. So a nice new feature. The local and cloud folders now have been better integrated. So for example, if I go to my cloud folder online, which is stored at BeerSmithRecipes.com, my cloud account, I can click on Copy Local and move any of those items back to my local folder. Similarly, if I go to my Recipes folder, I now have a copy to cloud that'll take that recipe, let's say the one I just downloaded, and put it right in my cloud account. So very easy to move back and forth between your cloud account and your local recipes now with BeerSmith 2.2. Some important brewing changes were made as well. For example, BeerSmith now supports IBU Calculations for steeped and whirlpool hops. So if you start adding a steeped edition, like I have here, I can start with this recipe. I can add a hop edition, let's say Apollo, and I can mark it as steep whirlpool hops. And it'll actually calculate the IBU addition for adding that particular thing for a particular amount of time. And I can even vary how long that it gets steeped for example, by editing it here. So very flexible there. I can add steep whirlpool hops that calculate out now. I also have fermentables that you can now mark as unfermentables. So for example, if you're working with lactose or maltodextrin or other items that don't ferment, you can add those, and they'll factor into the final gravity calculations, your original gravity calculations, but they'll do it properly now. They won't actually get fermented out. The brew steps now opens in a separate tab, which is very nice. So if I open a recipe app and I click on brew steps, it'll show in a separate tab in a nice preview window. Makes it much easier to read and use your brewing instructions right from the program. I've added some additional tools. There's a new adjust gravity tool, for example. If you missed your original gravity, you can go in here and type in what you missed. So for example, let's say I went into the fermenter and I came in a little bit low. I can type in the numbers here with a volume and our target gravity, and it'll tell me how much dry malt extract to use to add in here. If I'm actually over on my target gravity, I can add water instead to dilute it. So a nice handy tool to use on brew day if you happen to miss your gravity by a little bit. And there's a number of other options that have been added. So for example, I go into preferences. I've got date options now that I didn't have before for international users. I can go in and change date formats. There's some additional look and feel options that have been added. For example, you can show, hide menu, and do a number of things from here. So a lot of new features added in BeerSmith 2.2. One more feature we've added is the Recipe Archive feature. You go to the View menu, click on Recipe Archive. It actually pulls up a list of every single change you've made to every single recipe in the program. So there's no more losing things or deleting things by accident, because at any time you can go back at any date and pull back any change you made in the past. And just double click on it and you can preview it here. If you decide you want to keep a copy of it, you can copy it back to your local folder and save it somewhere that you like. So it's very easy to go back now and find any change you made to any recipe anywhere in your desktop system and pull it up directly from the archive. You can also now check for updates and download those updates. If I go to the Help menu, I can check for updates online. It'll tell me whether I've got the current version of BeerSmith. If I don't, it'll actually download it in the background and I can install it directly from the program, so it makes it very easy to keep things up to date. And finally, a number of bugs were corrected to improve data storage, reliability, and accuracy across the board for BeerSmith 2.2. So I hope you enjoy using the new features in BeerSmith 2.2. To watch more videos, join us at beersmith.com/video or download a free trial of BeerSmith at beersmith.com.